Hey guys, welcome back to the garden. Have you ever seen such riches? It's amazing. A whole wagon full of horse manure from my lovely neighbor. So this traveled 400 meters and he brought it around yesterday afternoon. So today I am shoveling shit as usual. And I want to make a video about building soil and also the contrast or the difference between nutrient dense growing systems and nutrient poor growing systems, because we are going to have a nutrient rich environment, of course, in the new vegetable garden, but we are also going to need nutrient poor soils or areas for a lot of the plants that we want to grow for the butterfly sanctuary. So yeah, guys, I'm just gonna take the last bits and I'll show you how far I got in the new vegetable garden. So this is nothing. We built the food forest, and I think I put around 150 tons of horse manure in the food forest to build the soil and to sort of build the crumb and to build up the content of humus, of organic material in the soil, because as you will see when we get out here, you can see the starting point of this endeavor. It needs organic material. I will say it's quite good soil. It's heavy clay soil, and if you are working it with farming machines, it's not really a problem, but we are not, and you can see just how compacted and dense it really is. Of course, this is a very dry time. We are in 3rd of April, I think, but you can see how dry and clay-like the structure is, and hardly any organic material here. So this will be very hard to work by hand. So the idea is that I'm going to build a circle of very nutrient dense soils on top. So I'm doing that with just these wheelbarrows of horse manure, and I think I'm going to make maybe 2 rows, and I want to grow a lot of butterfly host plants, but also a lot of nectar flowers and berries that the butterflies can enjoy and that we can eat the berries from. So I'm going to make 2 rows of this amazing horse manure. And maybe I can show you actually this. So the soil is very, it has been conventionally farmed, of course, which is what you do, and that's wonderful in some ways. But this means that there is very little soil life. But if you look at this is full of worms, full of bacteria, and this is what the soil needs, in my opinion. So I'm just going to build and build and build with this, and allow the worms to actually do the fusing of the different layers. So I'm just going to put it on top and no working the soil in any way. 2 rows, this thickness at least. I'll move a lot of plants and a lot of berry bushes that have sort of just made themselves in the food forest, and put them along here. And what I don't have enough, if I don't have enough plants for that, I'm just gonna grow loads and loads and loads of pumpkins, different kinds of pumpkins. we eat that all the time and it's really easy, and I'm just gonna stick some plants in these piles and see how that goes. That's also going to cover a lot of the soil very fast. So that's the basic idea. I mean, I don't have, this is the starting point of the vegetable garden, and this is, I will see how much I have time and energy for this this summer. I want to talk a little bit about why there's always a thought about using resources, for instance buying these. And when I last had a vegetable garden with raised beds, I built some myself, and they were fine, but I don't have a lot of wood, so I would have to go out and source the wood, and this will last me much longer. And also I really wanted to find some with quite a dark color, because this means that the soil inside these raised beds is going to heat up a little faster, and we like that. Of course it's also going to evaporate some of the moisture that's inside, but I think it's a good thing for starting the season a little early maybe. In here, I'm not really growing our vegetables in this soil because it's so compacted and dry. So I'm going to build soil inside of these raised beds. I have a lot of horse manure, and I think this has been mixed with peat moss. Not that I did it, but the woman who gave this to me had a horse with a bad hoof, and so it was standing in this kind of mixture. And this is not, this is quite fresh, so I put this in the bottom. And then from my neighbor I'm going to get some composted, it's maybe 2-3 years old composted horse manure. I'm going to put that on top of this quite fresh horse manure, and then I'm going to add a little bit of soil or compost on top. And actually, because I'm so interested in bringing life back into the soil in terms of worms and good bacteria, I also made a mixture of some biochar that I put a little bit of water in it, and then I mixed it up with some worm compost that I always make. We make that with all our food scraps, and I'm going to put a little bit of that in here, just to make sure again that these beds are going to be alive with great soil and good bacteria for everything we are going to grow and eat from these beds. And I can just top them up every year, and maybe my experience is that sometimes it takes a year for a bed, a new bed like this, to find its balance in a way. But I'm sure we will, I hope, I will show you what we grow here this summer, and hopefully it'll be lush and beautiful and productive. I have a video from last year where I'm proclaiming that I'm done with annuals. And here I am, my husband is shaking his head. So I think annuals are a lot of work, but especially if you don't have a designated space for them. And since I'm constantly planting perennials everywhere, usually the space I thought I could house some of the annuals is filling up with perennials. So I think I might have to make a square jar for perennials in here, except for the berry bushes, of course. But in the beds, there's a square jar for perennials, only annuals and stuff we can eat. Lots of stuff we can eat from the perennial food forest, but it's good to have a space designed for annuals. So this is it, guys, and I'm really excited about this. I think growing your own vegetables is scratching an itch you can only get scratched from growing it yourself. And the more I read, the more I understand having fresh produce that has been growing in real healthy living soil is so important. And even if you think you're having fresh spinach in a bag from the supermarket, actually it's losing a lot of its energy and prana and vitamins when it's just sitting there, even if it looks and tastes fresh. So there's a loss of life force in a way. So I think the privilege of having a vegetable garden is really amazing and exciting for me this year. So a swear jar for perennials in here, but lots of annuals hopefully. And also I will say, when we made the food forest, we had lots of areas in the ground layers where we had space for our annuals, but now the food forest is complete in a way. Everything is planted and full, and the soil is covered, so there is no way we can grow any annuals in that system anymore, or hardly any. And if I am to make space, it takes work. So this is much less work, I hope. But I'm really excited. Yeah, so I'm just hauling horse manure again, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm seeing how much life is inside of it, and that's exciting. But I want to talk about this if we go over here. So this is the building of nutrient-dense soil with lots and lots of organic matter in the soil, and that's great for growing vegetables. But right outside here we are actually going to have, we will need to find a way to make this less nutrient dense. So I'm not going to add any manure or anything out here. Actually, we are going to grow things and then cut it back and take it away. So we are going to take away nutrients from these areas that are going to be all of the butterfly plants. And then I had someone ask me an interesting question, and I've been pondering this, that so this hopefully nutrient poor is right beside this nutrient dense area. And of course there's going to be a spill over, especially this way, from the nutrients are going to leak out into the nutrient poor. This is not really nutrient poor because it's clay and it has probably a lot of extra nitrogen and stuff. So my thinking is, from a permaculture perspective, is that I have this nutrient dense and I have the nutrient poor, and in between I'm going to have a third thing that is going to make some different opportunities. So it's going to be nutrient dense and then something in between and nutrient poor at some point. So I'm just excited to see how that's going to affect what wants to grow there. And that's part of the conversation, that's part of the exploration that we are going to have with this project. We don't know, we will have to see, and we will also have to see how much is the vegetable garden affecting the soil and the growing power that's in these other areas. And I just think that's super interesting. It's all an experiment, and something will grow for sure, but we just we have to see what will thrive and what will not. If any of you have any experience with this, I mean, I'm so happy to hear from you in the comments, and yeah, it's just exciting time, and I'm so happy. I'm happy I have horse manure and the sun is shining, and I had my first dip in the ocean today and it was lovely, icy cold and beautiful. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you later.